Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how else to say it other than he's going down for the classified documents case at the hands of Jack Smith. That's my prediction. That's my estimation based on a lot of the facts we've talked about. But the bombshell story CNN broke, now giving us access to listening to the audio recording that has been reported on extensively and referred to often, that captures Trump at his Bedminster Club talking about and showing off seemingly classified information about a possible attack on Iran from his time as president. And in attempting to brag about, and of course I'll show you this audio recording, then we'll get to, in case you've heard it already, possibly stuff you haven't seen, such as Trump's response on True Social, Unhinged, of course. But he's talking about this, showing it to people who don't have security clearance, and admitting, very notably, that he has not declassified, or he didn't when he was president, and he knows that as a former president, he no longer has the ability to declassify. And so he's admitting the argument he's been making publicly as to why he didn't do anything wrong in regard to the classified documents is absolutely bogus. This is wild. Donald Trump may see accountability based on the gargantuous stack of evidence against him. Take a look at this being reported on by Anderson Cooper.
With breaking news, we have obtained what is expected to be a central piece of the government's case against Donald Trump. The actual audio recording of the former president talking as if he is showing a highly classified document on U.S. war plans against Iran with people not cleared to even know it exists, let alone what's in it. In a moment, only on CNN, you will hear what jurors will hear one day. The recording was made 2 summers ago, July 2021, at the former president's club in Bedminster, New Jersey. You will clearly hear the former president as he is speaking to several people. According to the special counsel's indictment, they include a writer working on Mark Meadows' memoir, the publisher, and 2 of Trump's staff members. The president was aware he was being recorded. This is the first time it is being played publicly.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, you know, against you.
Well, it started right at the beginning.
Like when Milley's talking about, oh, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in.
That's right.
Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look.
It's crazy how this man who, and of course you'll see the more notable part in a moment, but or you'll hear it, who was the most powerful person in the world, is so insecure in trying to impress people. Look, this is amazing. Look, I have classified information.
This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. Wow. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Mm-hmm. Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret. Look at this. You attack.
And you know, I'm just showing you classified information, whatever.
Hillary would print that out all the time, you know.
She'd send it, no, she'd send it to Anthony Weiner.
Yeah.
The pervert.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And, you know, he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the papers. This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
declassify.
Figure out
See, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't, you know, but this is classified.
Now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so, we here and I have, and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No,
Oh my goodness. And then watch this last part.
It's incredible, right?
No,
hey, bring some Cokes in.
Bring some Cokes, please. Wow. And he says, you know, as president, I could have declassified. I can't now. Now, a few things on this. Number one, just that whole dynamic, so strange. He was talking about, and they were laughing about, Hillary would probably mishandle classified information like this and send it around as he's mishandling and showing it to people who don't have security clearance. So incredible ending. Hey, can y'all bring Cokes in here, please? And then the argument that's going on, separate from this completely destroying his own defense as he's been kind of testing it, of no, as president, I had the power to declassify, and I did with my mind everything before I stopped being president. Clearly not, because this is from after his time as president. So that's the most notable part. But just to kind of address, in case you're curious, it seems like he also doesn't understand how the military works and how hypothetical plans work, because Mark Milley Trump is saying Mark Milley is accusing me of wanting to have attacked Iran. But that's not true, because look, he gave me this plan as to how we would go about a war with Iran. That doesn't mean, he understands this, right? Having a plan and the military giving it to you, they have plans for how we would attack and how we would go to war with pretty much every single country. And that's what they're prepared for, just in case. All of those hypotheticals are mapped out. And so if Trump was asking about it, then Mark Milley maybe would have put that plan forward. Or Mark Milley, I wouldn't put it past anyone, really, possibly to have had their own personal ambition to do something like that. But it also seems like Trump thinks just the fact that they mocked up a plan means that Mark Milley himself wanted to attack Iran, which isn't necessarily true. I think that makes sense to most people. And as a reminder, this is just completely contradicting what he previously said during a very recent interview on Fox News about this audio recording before we actually had the recording. Let me start this from the beginning.
On it. But according to the indictment, you were here at Bedminster on July 21st, 2021, after you're no longer president, and you were recorded saying that you had a document detailing a plan of attack on another country that was prepared by the U.S. military for you when you were president, the Iran attack plan. You remember that?
Ready?
You were recorded.
It wasn't a document.
Okay.
I had lots of paper. I had copies of newspaper articles. I had copies of magazines.
I know. This is specifically a quote. You're quoted on the recording saying the document was secret, adding that you could have declassified it while you were president, but, quote, now I can't. You know, this is still secret, highly confidential. And the indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this, on tape,
it says just the opposite.
That you can't declassify it, so why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. I never made any bones about that.
Oh my goodness. It's so wild. In all my time studying law, I've never seen a defendant with this weak of a case. No, it seems from my non-lawyer knowledge about a case like this, he's not going into the prep for a trial on good footing whatsoever. And this might just turn out to be an absolute, complete, total disaster. Here's his response on True Social, and I mean a disaster for him. The deranged special prosecutor Jack Smith, working in conjunction with the DOJ and FBI, illegally leaked and spun a tape. Yeah, sure. How is that spun, Donald? And transcript of me, which is actually an exoneration rather than what they would have you believe. This continuing witch hunt is another election interference scam. They are cheaters and thugs. By the way, you'll hear a lot, the DOJ, they're leaking. It shows they're just trying to hurt Trump. And is it conceivable that law enforcement agencies, prosecutors, their offices could have information leak out? It happens, sure. But that's not necessarily how this information gets out. It's very plausible, probably more plausible, that CNN got this information from whoever provided it to the DOJ, if that makes sense. Whoever recorded this, the staffer around Trump, and I'm not sure if that information is public. It may be. That may have been who handed over the audio recording. And a lot of these stories, the DOJ had to get it somewhere, and journalists can track down who that is and ask them for it themselves. And it could leak out, of course, the DOJ things too, but I would say it's more likely that that's where this came from. So really, really stunning. And we really are witnessing history, and Trump may experience accountability for the first time, essentially, in his entire life. Make sure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel.